All right, guys, we are going to start another lesson in geometry. And yesterday you talked about polygons. And if you remember, a polygon is any closed shaped figure. And we talked about there's quadrilaterals is a polygon with 4 sides. And like your hectagon has 5 sides and your triangle has 3 sides, but they're all closed figure. So a polygon is anything. I mean, it can be like this, as long as it's closed. It can be as long as it's closed. Would this be a polygon? No, because it's not closed. But for today, we are going to talk about those polygons and the 2D shapes. Now we have 2D and 3D shapes. The 2D shape is a flat shape. It means it has no depth to it. So if you think about things hanging on your wall, a poster, that is a 2D shape because it is just flat. Now, a 3D shape has dimension or depth to it. So a ball would be a 3D shape called a sphere. And like a soup can would be a 3D shape, like a cylinder. But we're going to focus on 2D shapes today, those flat shapes, the triangles, the octagons, all of those types of things. And within a 2D shape, there's some other aspects we need to know about the 2D shape, and they're called the characteristics or the attributes of that shape. So if I were to draw a rectangle such as this, and remember, we'll do our best to make it great. This is a rectangle, and we can describe our rectangle by the attributes of it. So if I think about this rectangle, what is one thing we can say? Well, I know that all these straight lines are called sides. All the straight lines are called sides. How many sides are there in a rectangle? Yes, we can say there's 4 sides. Now there's another part of these that you might not be aware of, and we're going to choose a stamp. And that is this part right here, where 2 sides meet. Where 2 sides meet, we call that the vertex. Okay, the vertex. That is the point where 2 sides meet. So a single one is called a vertex, but when we talk about more than one, we call them the vertices. So how many vertices would there be on a rectangle? Yeah, there are 4 vertices. Very good. 4 vertices. I'm gonna delete that one. I don't want that. If I can delete it, we're just going to ignore it then. Okay, now there's one other piece, and we did this earlier, and it stumped my 7th grader, and it stumped my 4th grader. What do we call this right inside, from one side to the other, from about the vertex, on the inside of the shape, from right here, this amount of area is called an angle. Okay, how many angles are there? Yeah, there's 4 angles. Okay, so we have 4 angles. Now that is a concept you'll learn later on in 4th grade, a little bit in 3rd grade, a little bit in 4th grade. But just know when we say angles, that is the degree between the 2 sides.
You learned a ton in 4th grade.
Yeah, Annabelle just said you learn a ton about angles in 4th grade. On a square or a rectangle, the angle inside of it is always 90 degrees. A straight line has an angle of 180 degrees. Okay, so if I were to extend this out, this whole angle would be 180 degrees, and half of that would be 90. So a little bit more than 2nd grade material, but just in case you wanted to know that. So we're going to talk vertices and sides. So how many sides in a rectangle? 4. How many vertices in a rectangle? 4. Let's try a triangle. Let's look at a triangle. Here is a triangle. Now, we said how many sides does a triangle have? Yeah, it has 3 sides. And so we have 1 side, 2 sides, 3 sides. Then we also talked about the vertex or the vertices. Now remember that vertices is where, or the vertex is where 2 sides come together in a point. So here's 1, here's 2, and there's 3. So there are 3 vertices. Great. Now let's try, okay, oops, I need to get a drawing tool. What about this shape? Okay, without even naming the shape, let's go ahead and see how many sides does this shape have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are 6 sides. Now, how many vertexes are there, or vertices are there? We'll say 1, because there's 2 sides meet there. This side and this side meet here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so we can say there are, I don't know why that went way over there, 6 vertices. Are you seeing a pattern here? Anybody, do you see a pattern? Yeah, typically on a 2D figure, the sides and the vertices are the same. If I have 10 sides, I'm going to have 10 vertices. Okay, so you got to remember that the sides and the vertices will have the same number of them. All right, and our final thing is, what about this shape? It was perfect. How many sides do we have in a circle? There are 0 sides. Some people might say there's 1 side, but really a circle is made up of arc and continuous motion. And then how many vertices would be in a circle? And 0 vertices. All right, so today on your assignment, you are going to be looking at different shapes. You're going to need to name the shape. Okay, so I am going to share a document that has the name of the shapes on them. And you will also need to tell me the number of sides and vertices for each shape. Tomorrow, or I guess Thursday when we meet, we're going to talk about 3D shapes and their names, and the number of sides and angles. And they add one more thing to it that you have to know about 3D shapes. But for today, just know your names, your sides, and your vertices. Okay? Best of luck on your worksheet.